All right, so today we're going to talk about circles. We have a formula. This is going to be our conic form that we're talking about. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So circles have two variables squared. The x and the y are both squared. That's different from parabolas because parabolas just had x squared or y squared. So we're going to want to be able to start differentiating between the two different formulas that we have so we know what type of conic section it is. By the time we're done with the chapter, we'll have 4 different equations. So we'll have to be able to look at the characteristics of the equation to determine what type of conic it is. So we have circles, two variables that are squared, separated by addition, and equal to some number squared. Your radius is just going to be whatever the square root of that r squared is. That's our radius. And then your center is going to be at hk. So that's just like the vertex with the parabola where you're taking that opposite of whatever's in the parentheses with your x or your y. So we're going to graph a couple of circles. We're going to identify the center and the radius. We're going to write equations of circles from both given information and from graphs. That's what's on the agenda for today. So first, what you want to do when you are graphing a circle is you want to put it back into the standard form. So you want to get that x squared, you want to get that y squared separated from that r squared. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a flip-flop here. I'm going to add my 2y squared over. I'm going to add my 36 over. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus 2y squared equals 36. Now it's still not quite done because if you go back to the original equation, these have to just be regular plain old x or y squareds, no coefficients. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by the coefficients of 2. And that means I'll divide that 36 by 2. So now my equation is x squared plus y squared equals 18. So my center is going to be at 0, 0 because you can see that I have no h and k values, no parentheses with those x's or y's. Now my radius is going to be the square root of 18, which is about 4.2. So if my center is at 0, 0, your radius means that the distance from the center to the radius is going to be equal. So I'm going to go up 4.2. I'm going to go to the right 4.2. I'm going to go down 4.2. And I'm going to go to the left 4.2. And then I'm going to draw a circle. And you're not going to laugh at my circle, and I'm not going to laugh at your circle. So we're just going to all be nice when it comes to drawing circles. All right, look at that. Okay, so there's my circle. It's so beautiful. Now, let's look at one that's shifted a little bit. So the center here is going to be 2, 4. Now, rewind just for a second. I totally skipped that. This is already in standard form. Okay, it's already x squared plus y squared equals a number. No coefficients in front of there. So I was able to just jump straight to finding the center. So the center is the opposite of what I see. So I see x minus 2, I write a positive 2. I see y minus 4, I write a positive 4. My radius is going to be the square root of 9, or 3. So now I'm going to graph the center at 2, 4. So to the right 2, up 4. And then that radius 3 means I'm going to go up 3, and to the right 3, and down 3, and to the left 3. And then we're going to draw our very best circle. Whoa. Meh, a little better. Okay, so let's go ahead and write some equations now. We're going to write equations from lots of different things. First thing we're going to do is we're going to write equations from pictures. So here, in order to write the equation of a circle, you need only 2 things, and that's going to be your center and your radius. And that goes all the way back here. You need your h and your k, which is your center, and you need your r, which is your radius. So that's going to fill everything in. So if I go back down here, I got to find my center. So as I'm looking at my graph, I can kind of see that 4 points on my graph are going to be here, 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 and there. And you can just kind of count. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 means that the center would be right there, smack in the middle at 3 distance from either endpoint. And then you can see up and down, same thing. So we're at 3 from each point, which tells us that our radius is 3. Now my center point, this ordered pair right here, is left 2 and up 1. So that's going to be negative 2, 1. And we're pretty much done. So now I'm going to take x minus h. So I have that negative 2, which means that becomes a positive 2 squared, plus y minus k. So I have a positive 1, which means I write a minus 1 squared equals r squared. So 3 squared is 9. So that's coming from 3 squared, just in case you forget. All right, so now this one's going to be a little bit different because notice that it's shifted, okay? And we don't have those points, like these were nice points. Okay, nice, even points, we could see what they were. Here, not so nice. So we're just given 3 different points on the circle. You can use any point that you want. But first, we can find the center. So the center here is going to be left 3 and then down 4. So left 3 is negative, down 4 is negative. So negative 3, negative 4. Well, then we have to figure out what that radius is. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can use the Pythagorean theorem and say, okay, I'm trying to find this distance right here. That's going to be my radius. Remember, your radius is just the distance from the center to any point on the circle. So if I think about my Pythagorean theorem, I think about making that right triangle. So this is a 3 and this is a 2. So my r squared is going to be 3 squared plus 2 squared. Remember, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So here I get that r squared equals 13. Now notice all we need is what our r squared is. So our radius is going to be the square root of 13, but we really just want r squared for our equation. Now something else that you could do is plug it into your equation. So just take a look for a second. I'm going to write my equation. So x plus 3 squared plus y plus 4 squared. And that's a minus 3, so I wrote a plus 3. And that's a minus 4, so I wrote a plus 4. Now, let's say we didn't know that that r squared was 13. What we could do is we could plug in any one of these ordered pairs. So if I chose to plug in this ordered pair, which is 0, negative 2, and I plugged in 0 here, well, now I've got 0 plus 3 squared plus y is negative 2 plus 4 squared. That's going to give me what this is right here. So there's my 9. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. Squared is 4. There's that 13. Okay, because whatever ordered pairs these are, they have to work in your equation. How cool is that? Okay, so a couple different ways that you can do that. All right, we're going to write some equations from other information, but we'll check that out in the next video.